You are listening to Knackers in the Breeze, the podcast, with your hosts, Ryan and Barry.
Would you rather have cheddar cheese for knees, or a talking dog that only speaks in Portuguese? Or to make yourself feel really dry, would you towel dry between your thighs, or dangle out your knackers in the breeze?
Welcome to episode 34 of Knackers in the Breeze with me, Ryan.
Me, Big Bad Buzz.
And returning to the podcast, it is Joe. And returning again to the podcast, it is the father of Would You Rather, it is Paul.
Hey! Hello.
Hey! I feel like we need studio applause. We need a sample button to press. All that. Quiet down, please, over there. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
We need a button for applause. I don't applaud myself. We are the podcast that attempts to achieve philosophical enlightenment by answering hypothetical questions sent in by listeners and other podcasters.
Rolls off the tongue.
Right, so 5th of February, guys, is Girls and Women in Sports Day.
Right, I'm going to get 0 questions right.
So we've got a quiz this week. We usually do a quiz every episode now with a little theme to it. So this theme is celebrating women. So
In the most manly voice yet.
women. And what better way to celebrate women than 4 white guys doing a quiz?
Yeah.
It's what they want.
Yeah. Right. So who wants to go first? Who wants to go second? Who wants to go third?
I want to go last.
Okay.
Second.
Right. Okay.
I'm first then, I guess.
Okay. Right. So it's not all about women in sports, but there's
Thank God.
1 or 2 maybe. So it will start off easy, and then we get progressively hard, and then the last 3 are easy again.
Well, that's what you think. But let's see.
Well, yeah. Right. So, so Paul, who was the UK's first female prime minister?
I believe there's only been one. Margaret Thatcher.
There's been 2.
It has been two.
Has there really?
Theresa May.
But you were out of the country for the majority of her term, so her time in, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I think I did leave when... what was the second one?
Theresa.
Theresa May.
Theresa May.
Before that was David Cameron, wasn't it?
yeah. Easy to forget. Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, that's correct. Joe, who gained fame posthumously with the publication of their diary, The Diary of a Young Girl?
Oh, Jesus. Not Jesus. He had a willy.
Turn piss into wine.
Posthumously is after death, isn't it?
Yeah, so the Diary of a Young Girl, whose famous diary?
I've no idea. Anne Frank.
Yeah, correct.
Yay!
Right,
Was it really? Okay, I was expecting a sport question, but you did say not all sport
You
questions.
did say sport.
You ask and you shall receive, Paul.
She was
Number
a
3,
keen
Barry.
tic-tac-toe player.
Which female tennis star has dominated women's tennis with 23 major singles titles?
Is she still playing?
I think so. Don't know.
Because there's been a few. Is there? I don't know. Serena Williams.
Correct.
Woo!
Right. Scores all around at the moment. So, Paul, which country western
Bring it on.
singer wrote and sang the songs Jolene, 9 to 5, and Islands in the Stream?
Oh, easy. I'm actually a fan. Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton.
So,
Well done.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm definitely a fan as
Definitely
well.
a fan.
As
There's a
of
really good
recently,
podcast released by Jad Abumrad from
I've listened to every episode.
Radio Lab. I haven't listened to every episode.
Dolly Parton's
but yeah.
America.
Dolly Parton's America,
Yeah, it's
really
great.
good. It's really in depth. And
Okay.
she's like she's really intelligent, and she writes all her songs and she churns them out, and they're like fucking great, I think.
Squeezes them out.
Yeah. Sorry, go on. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say what you said, essentially. She writes her own songs. She writes for other people. Never judge a book by its cover, by its big titty cover. She's a really smart lady. Yeah, I like Dolly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big ideas, big dreams, big buxom lady, isn't she? Big brain.
Big buxom lady. What more could you want?
She's the ideal woman, actually.
Okay, Joe, I think
think
you've
so.
had this question asked to you before, but who is the current Chancellor of Germany?
Angela Merkel. I did. That's weird.
Why? Why do we have the same questions?
I don't know.
I'll take the point.
Exact same question you got asked on the German quiz,
What?
which everyone loved. Barry,
It was a struggle.
which famous actor, model, and singer famously sang "Happy Birthday, Mr. President"?
Oh God!
To John F. Kennedy.
Was it Marilyn Monroe?
It is correct.
Hurrah!
Just for a bit of trivia, do you know Marilyn Monroe's name she was born with?
Hannah.
It was Norma Jean Mortensen.
Oh, that's not a cool name.
Where are we?
She had 6 toes as well.
Really?
On one foot.
Did she really?
Apparently.
Oh.
And 3 toes on the other hand. Paul, what is the name of the famous nurse nicknamed the Lady with the Lamp that is revered in the medical field for paving the way for modern medicine?
I think I know it. I'm going to sound so stupid, though. I want to say, I don't know how to pronounce her name. That's the trouble. Marie Curie?
Marie Curie. That's not correct. It's Florence Nightingale.
Close, though.
It was close. I think you get half a point. If it was up to me, I'd give you half for such a good guess.
Thanks, Barry.
Oh, I really would.
Yeah, that's why Barry doesn't do the quizzes.
Well, he's a stickler for the rules.
Right.
I know, he's always been that way, by the way.
He is a stickler.
Forever, it has to be... There's no articulation of my thoughts. Sorry, carry on.
I'll give you half a point for that as well. But you won't let me.
A full point. What?
Right. Joe, which military leader, nicknamed the Maid of Orleans, helped France defeat England in the 100 Years' War?
Not a clue.
Not a clue? No? Any guess?
That's tough.
Is it anything that anybody else knows?
You definitely have heard of her.
Okay.
Her? Well,
This is all celebrating women in
sports.
history and in the world quiz. So they're all going to
the
be
only
women.
military lady I know is Joan of Arc.
Well done. Correct.
Shut up.
Is that right?
That's correct.
Oh, very good. Well done.
I'm really impressed with that.
Barry, who was the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt before it was incorporated into the Roman Empire?
I don't know.
Remember, it's got to be a woman.
Would I have heard of this woman?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's not the big one that we all know, is it? Was that a woman? Begins with T? It's not that one, is it? No, it wasn't.
Not King Tut, no.
No. Barbarella.
Barbarella, no. It's Cleopatra.
Oh, of course. Coming at ya.
Coming at you like Cleopatra. Paul, you might know this. Eileen Wuornos is famous.
He won't.
For being the United States' first ever what?
I do know this, actually, Barry.
Shit.
I watched the documentary, and it is harrowing. That woman is so incredibly damaged. It's unbelievable. But she's done awful things. I mean, she's a serial killer. She's killed the most men of any woman. But when you watch that documentary, it's on Netflix, I think.
What's her name?
You can't help but feel
Eileen
for her.
Wuornos. I think that there's 2 documentaries, isn't there? There's the selling of a serial killer, and then there's the life and death of the serial killer, and it's both by the same person. And the second one's like 10 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nick Broomfield is by, isn't it?
She shot them at point blank range.
Yeah. So she was a prostitute, and she claimed that people who like came onto her far too strong or was being a bit rapey or whatever, she would kill them and dispose of the bodies. And it was big news because she was like the first ever female serial killer.
Is she held up as a bit of a sort of, you go girl kind of thing?
I doubt it. I
didn't know. I don't know.
Yeah. And because this was in Florida, so they have the death penalty there. So she got put to death. And
Did she? I don't remember that.
And the scene, so they got a camera in. Nick Broomfield got a camera in. I can't remember if it was interviewed or she was just saying stuff, but her last speech is fucking mental. She's crazy. And she clearly wasn't because you've got to be in a sane state of mind to know why you're being killed. And she just wasn't sane at all.
No way. I'm
Oh,
fascinated.
that's nice of them, making sure you understand it first.
She said, I've just Googled it very quickly. She said, I'll be back. That's one of the things she said.
Okay.
That's
There's a
terrifying.
copyright issue right there.
That is terrifying. She said, I'd just like to say I'm sailing with The Rock and I'll be back like Independence Day with Jesus, June the 6th, like the movie, big mothership and all. I'll be back. Fucking insane. Wow. I'm going to watch that. Fascinating.
Yeah, it's really good. There's 2 of them, so make sure you watch the selling of a serial killer first. Right, Joe. 1903 saw the first ever female Nobel Prize winner. Who was it?
Not a clue. No
Any
idea.
guesses?
Andrea Brown.
Andrew Brown. No, it was Marie Curie.
Oh, it's Marie Curie.
Oh, fucking hell, Paul.
Half a point.
Yeah, so she got a Nobel Prize in physics and in chemistry. So she wasn't the nurse, but it was a good guess.
That's sarcastic.
No, it was a good guess.
It was. What did you say, Angela Brown?
Andrea Brown.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, move on.
Is there a documentary about her as well?
Carol Brown took
So we'll
a
be after
bus out
this.
of town. Sorry, that's Flight of the Conchords. Right, Barry. Name one of the wives King Henry VIII had beheaded.
Anne of Widdicombe. Anne of Cleves.
Anne of Cleves. Incorrect. It was either Anne Boleyn or Catherine Howard.
Oh, Catherine Howard. What a mundane name.
More difficult now.
They're more difficult now. They're going up a level.
Yeah, they go up until the last three, and then they're easy again.
Okay.
Right, so...
Double points? That's double points?
Nah, just single points.
Oh, for God's sake, just give double points.
For the rules.
What difference does it make?
Would not be bullied into points. Right, Paul.
Come on, then. Yes.
The 2019 superhero film Captain Marvel was written by the filmmaking duo Ryan Fleck and who? I wouldn't know
I
this,
have
by
no idea. Angelina Jolie.
It's Anna Boden.
So it
Joe,
was.
what nickname did the Nazi German army give to the Soviet Air Force's female pilots during World War II?
I have no idea. I got to be careful with my answer as well. The Flying Angels.
Oh, you're close. It's the Night Witches.
Oh, that'll do.
Sort of on the right track.
All right, half a point.
No.
Yeah, half a point.
Right. Barry, which country did the United States beat in the FIFA Women's World Cup final in 2019?
Oh, ball bags. Bally balls. Ball bag. Ball bag. Ball bag. Ball. I don't
Is that
know.
your answer?
I do know. I think everybody knows, don't they? Do you know?
I know now.
I don't
right
know.
in front of me.
Do you guys know? Oh,
No,
fuck.
I have no idea.
I'd be
I
guessing.
probably would have guessed wrong though, but
It wasn't England. They didn't make it, did they? Or
England was
did
the
they?
semi-finals.
Did they make it to the? Did they win? Did they go to the final?
England?
Yeah.
Can't tell you.
So is it them?
Go for whoever you feel.
No, because I would have watched it if it was England. No, 'cause, maybe France.
It was the Netherlands.
Oh, ball bag.
So England lost to the United States in the semi-final.
Got it.
Right, last three. So these are sort of easy again now. Paul, known as the First Lady of Civil Rights, who became famous for refusing to give up her seat to a white passenger.
Oh, I know this, but the name escapes me.
Half a
What
point.
was her name? No, I know it. You're going to have to hold on one moment. I'm not Googling, I promise. Give me the first letter.
No.
I can't give you the first letter.
Oh,
It's an A, isn't it? Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks,
That
correct.
doesn't count.
Yes.
Rye is fuming right now. He's so angry.
That's a full point.
Well, he's beating you at the moment now, Barry, because of that.
You're
Egg on your face.
You're only hurting yourself.
Right, Joe,
Give it to me.
who was the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean?
Who the fuck knows that?
You've definitely heard of her.
Well, I get an initial then, surely.
Do you want to give Joe the
I
initial?
don't know it though. I don't know this one. B.
It's not B.
Sue Flatley.
Sue Flatley. No, it's Amelia Earhart.
I quit.
I've never heard that name in my life.
Never heard of Amelia Earhart? Okay. I thought these
No,
were easy. Right.
no.
This one's not that easy, but all right. Barry, you might know.
God.
Considered one of the best crime novelists, name this British author who wrote Death on the Nile.
Oh shit. Catherine Aragon.
That's one of King Henry VIII's wives.
I don't know.
No?
No.
It's Agatha Christie.
Oh,
Ah,
of course it is.
So it was.
So, scores on the doors. Barry, you have 2. Paul,
Out of how many?
6.
2 out of 6. Not
2 out of 6.
Not bad. Not
Paul,
bad.
you have 4.
Yep.
Joe,
Yep.
you have 3. So the winner is Paul.
Yes!
Riding on a pony, eating macaroni, Twilight Zone is Paul Simeone.
I'm not happy with that initial.
The champ.
He was on Google the whole time.
I was on Google the whole time. How dare you? How dare you? I knew it. It was on
Sorry.
the tip of my tongue. I just needed the R.
It was nothing near.
I turned on you, and I'm
I'll take
embarrassed
half a
about
point.
that.
It's still 3.5 points. It beats your 3.
Lodged firmly down your throat, nowhere near the tip.
Okay, let's move on. With me,
Right, so-
victorious.
Celebrating women in the world. The quiz. Voila. Got a question for you guys. Here we go.
Dear Barry and guests on Knackers in the Breeze, is it acceptable to still listen to Lost Prophets and Gary Glitter after all the things that they've done.
Well, did you listen to them in the first place?
I used to listen to Lost Prophets when I was a teenager. I still pretty like them. I like them quite a lot.
Yeah.
I was a big Lost Prophets fan. He was particularly bad though, wasn't he?
Yeah. So what did he do? He did
what didn't he do?
He load of like 1-year-olds. He had like sex with 1-year-olds and stuff like that. So him and his wife, I think, the lead singer.
Yeah. When they pulled his computer and things, his password to his email or whatever was IF kids.
Oh, fucking hell.
That's the thing that sticks with me, that little detail. That's mental.
Yeah, and Gary Glitter was done for, like, paedophilia. Did you go to, like, Cambodia or something to specifically go for it? So yeah, not good stuff at all. And but is it still acceptable to listen to their music? Because you got, rock and roll. Doom, 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 doom. That's a tune.
I mean, if it's for fear of catching paedophilia, I think we're safe. But...
Is that how it works? I'm in trouble. I love Michael Jackson.
Yeah, well, Michael Jackson, but that's controversial, isn't it? Because
is it controversial? Is it?
I feel like I have to say it's controversial, but I don't think it is.
Does this mean I can no longer listen to Rolf Harris do his wobble board thing?
Yeah, so Rolf Harris is another one.
What did Rolf do?
He did Two Little Boys.
No, I know that, but I know his artistic works inside out. But what was he accused of? Or
he so there was a family friend, a friend of his, and he groomed the daughter. I believe she was 13 years old at the time. I'm not sure about how much sexual contact there was initially, but there certainly was as she grew a little bit older. And they published a letter he had written to the daughter's parents in one of the Sunday papers. So that might be worth bringing up and reading because it was essentially an apology, really. But I mean, the audacity of apologising for molesting someone's daughter via a letter, you just wouldn't want to hear from them ever again, would you?
No. Are you Googling it, Barry?
Yeah, just seeing what's going on with Rolf.
Rolf. I like Rolf as well. I used to watch Animal Hospital after
great theme tune.
The best thing about it is the theme tune. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
How did it go again?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
It doesn't match the show at all. It sounds like a cop drama from the 80s, but instead it's like a hamster with a broken leg.
On YouTube, I don't know if it's there anymore, but he did like an advert with like swimming with kids and stuff, and that can't watch that in the same way now, can you?
Because he really enjoyed it before, didn't you?
What happened to the portrait?
Oh God.
He did a portrait of the Queen, didn't he? What happened to that? Did they take it down? Is it still up?
Oh yeah, he used to do can you tell what it is yet?
I'd argue that it's worth more now.
Yeah.
Why would you argue that?
Just because it's now like, wow, guess who did that? You know, like Rolf did that. It's like a picture of a dog by Hitler is worth a lot more than a picture of a dog by anybody else. Basically, go back to the question, the art stands aside from the man.
So I have that dilemma of I still like the Lost Prophets. Was it the Last Train Home?
I haven't listened to them since.
Oh, okay. No, I still have them on my playlist. And
you fucking
I have like a barbecue playlist. So
what?
So I have like a load of like old like disco songs and stuff on it. Kind of like
that's what you want when you're grilling sausages.
Family friendly-ish songs.
Are you sure?
And I want rock and roll on there, but it's not really acceptable to put Gary Glitter on a playlist, is it? Like that. No, like you got like your nephew or whatever running around. I
have to say, I'm surprised you've got that on your playlist, Ryan. I couldn't listen to The Lost Prophets knowing that information. I didn't know much about. I knew he did terrible things to young children, but I couldn't listen to him. I'd feel sick.
And also, as well, if you're streaming it, I know it's a very, 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 very small amount. But let's say you're using Spotify, a little bit of revenue is going towards the Lost Prophets. You know, like you're funding his lifestyle. You're not, but like you are kind of rewarding it. If everybody was they're making some kind of revenue.
Acceptable because so I looked up.
But the other guys in the band,
Rock and Roll by Gary Glitter, that's got 20 million listens on Spotify. So someone or a lot of people think it's sort of acceptable.
Thousands of pounds right there
to listen to.
Well, yeah, I don't know how bad Gaza was. I've never really looked into it. Yeah, it looks like one of the cheek. You know, this sounds. I think it's terrible. Whatever he did, but was it like cheeky? Like he squeezed a 16-year-old. Because
No.
Lost Prophets is
I
next
think he
level, isn't it?
Particularly went to Cambodia for young children.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty grim. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. Next. What a deep
So
question.
what do you guys think?
Well, I think no. But then again, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I suspect that there was some foul play with Michael Jackson. I believe he was very damaged himself, and I suspect he didn't necessarily know how bad his actions were because fucked up.
He went all there,
for want of a better phrase. That's the psychology degree coming out. And I still listen to Michael Jackson. I still enjoy his music, but I couldn't listen to the Lost Prophets, and I couldn't listen to Gary Glitter.
Right, yeah, okay. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I think knowing the details of their transgressions is worse. I think that we all know Jackson did something that was off, but he wasn't well, and you'll never really know the details. Whereas the Lost Prophets chump was just, it's a no from me.
You wouldn't listen, Joe. You wouldn't listen.
No.
Yeah. Does it depend how good the art is, though? Do you know what I mean? Michael Jackson's made some absolute winners. And if it was quite shit music, we'd probably all go, no, don't listen to it.
Classic pedo tune.
Put it on the pedo playlist.
But you need to get rid of Lost Prophets off your playlist. I'm judging you for that.
Yeah.
You've got to get rid of it.
Do that.
But the other band members didn't like.
I don't know how you can have a
participate in
barbecue
it,
listening to that. It's weird.
Oh, that's not on the. That's not. So they're not on the playlist. But I wanted to put them
All
on.
right, okay.
But I had a dilemma, and I didn't put them on. But
So if you get invited to a barbecue at Rise, don't go. It's just Gary Glitter.
Put on the
Lost
pedo
Prophets.
playlist. Coming up next is Rob Hannah.
Spicy sausage, anybody? All right.
Sorry, just one on this topic. I used to work at a social club, which was awful. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to a working men's club.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't changed in 50 years. So, you still smell of cigarette smoke. The decor is exactly the same. It's the same bands been touring for years and years and years, singing the same songs. It was quite depressing. So I was working there as a young man. And, it wasn't where I wanted to be. However, there was this song that came on regularly, and it would go, young girl, get out of my mind. My love for you is way out of line. You're much too young, girl. You better run, girl. Does anyone recognise that song?
No.
No,
never
but that
heard
was the
that
song, and it would play over and over, and it was the most pedo-y song ever, and it was like perfectly acceptable in that environment.
I've just looked it up. It's Young Girl by Gary Puckett.
I thought you could say Gary Glitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
If you ever
the
listen to that
lyrics.
song, it's read the lyrics. They're
It
horrendous.
says, beneath your perfume and your makeup, you're just a baby in disguise. And though you know that it's wrong to be alone with me, the come on look is in your eyes.
Oh,
Fuck off. That's awful. No way.
Oh my God.
With all the charms of a woman, you've kept the secret of your youth.
Was that released in the 70s?
Can't see. It does not say the year. You'd led me to believe you're old enough to give me love, and now it hurts to know the truth.
Hey There Delilah is creepy as well, isn't it? It's a teacher singing a song to a schoolgirl he's sleeping with.
What? Hey
Stop.
there,
Is it really?
Delilah, what's it like?
Is that just an interpretation, or is that explicitly? I'm looking at the lyrics. There's nothing. Oh yeah, 2 more years and you'll be done with school. I remember that. But I
God.
I always took that as like you're done with college.
But
like,
so school. The Americans say university. They say school, don't they?
Please let that be the case.
That doesn't necessarily mean that he's a teacher, does it? That he might be like
No, I thought he was just
waiting for her to
fella.
finish school so she can come and join him.
That's what I always took it as. Yeah, I'd walk to our friends would all make fun of us, and we'd just laugh along because we'd know that none of them have felt this way. I think that's an interpretation of it, but I like to think that it isn't about that.
The lyrics.
We should start a new podcast where we analyse pedo or not, wrong or not, and we can analyse all bits of art. Well,
that's that genius brain kicking in. That's a Barry game in the making.
yeah, add that to the long list. I'm going to add that.
Listen up, Knackers in the breeze. Listen up, Knackers in the breeze.
Have we got a Barry game? We got a Dear Deirdre?
We've got some Deirdres.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so, again, I'm obsessed with call-in shows, like Dear Deirdres, Agony Aunts. I don't know why. I love them.
Do you give advice when you hear it on the radio?
Yeah,
in your mind.
Yeah, definitely. Like, what you want to do is, but I've got no outlet for that.
Right.
No one can hear me. But always. I'll always tune into LBC, listen to a debate, and I like hearing people's different opinions on things, right or wrong. So yeah, I've got a couple. Well, I've got one here in particular that I think that's quite a good one. that I'd like to hear, especially with a psychology degree, between, there's quite a few in that.
Yeah, two psychology degrees on this podcast at the moment.
Which is amazing. That's crazy. Yeah. So there's one here. I'd like to see what your advice would be.
Okay.
Dear Deirdre, I'm a 54-year-old woman. I've been together with a boy who just turned 18. I'm starting to feel very guilty and it doesn't feel right. But he was so wonderful and I'm starting to fall in love with him. I think he loves me too, but it's against every traditional norm. And if any of my fellow 60-year-old friends find out what I've been doing with him, they will think I'm crazy and they will stop talking to me. Please help me. What do you think about that?
So she's what?
She's 54 and he's
18.
Yeah, he's 18. He says she says he's just turned 18.
Oh, so she's been at it before he was 18.
Possibly.
Oh,
we can only speculate. So she's looking for advice. Does she carry on? Because it's not illegal what she's doing.
No, it's not.
He's
even when he was 17. I think it's the age of consent 16 here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I say crack on.
Crack on.
Maybe she's talking about what if she's like feeling really strong feelings for him, is he feeling it back? Is that the like advice she's looking for, or is she looking for like, is it morally right?
Yeah, probably like looking for validation, or possibly maybe she wants somebody to go, this is not okay, you need to stop, so she can. But until she hears, she's going to keep doing what she's doing, isn't she? She
it
probably
all sounds as though it's above board. I'd say get less judgy friends.
Well, here's the thing: if you were 16 and your friend was dating an 18-year-old, what would you think?
Oh, I'd rip them a new one.
Yeah, it would be weird, wouldn't it? I think it would be weird.
It's sort of weird. It's weird that like it's very acceptable that way around, but it's a bit dodgy. It's like the other way around. So if it was like an 18-year-old girl and a 54-year-old man,
there's definitely a double standard.
It just seems very seedy, doesn't it? But the other way around, you're like, yeah, go for it. You go, girl.
Yeah. So I don't know. My advice to her to be like, if you're both enjoying it and you're both happy, keep go for it. But it is a bit strange, and
I can't see him settling down. Like at 18.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, you can't really start a family, or maybe she is fertile and virile, but at 54 possibly not. Like, or maybe she doesn't want that herself. Maybe it's a bit selfish. It's not selfish. It's not selfish. Nice.
Well, I suspect that these questions aren't legitimate a lot of the time. I like you, Barry. I used to read the Sun newspaper growing up. It was my fault. It was my nan would buy it. So I'd have a little flick through that. And I liked the Dear Deirdre section. But I came to believe after a while that they were made up. I just felt like they weren't real people. If this is legitimate, if it's real, then... I don't think it's a bad thing. I can't see it lasting.
Well, she'll be dead soon.
Okay. So squeeze him for every drop of juice he's got, because it ain't gonna last.
Squeeze every drop out.
Yeah.
And swallow it.
Ride that horse for as long as you can, because it will bolt out the stable at some point soon. That's what I would say. Going back to what you said about they might not all be real, there's one that I found that you're right. I don't think they're all real, and I'm going to read you one that I think was written by an intern at the Sun. Probably.
Right.
I'm going to call the piece Milk. Dear Deirdre, I've been dating Leon for a few months. He is smart, cute, ambitious, caring, a great kisser, and has fantastic sense of humour. The problem? ? He gives new meaning to the phrase, got milk? Leon still has the remains of the first gallon of milk he ever purchased when he moved into his apartment. He had overestimated the amount of milk he would consume, and before he knew it, had a gallon in his fridge that was 3 weeks past its expiration date. Time passed, and still it remained there. Soon, it was 6 months old and a novelty. Leon has kept this container of milk through 2 roommates, 3 girlfriends, 7 jobs, and 2 refrigerators. It will soon be 5 years.
Oh, man.
Advice?
What was the advice? Do you have the advice there?
I think they're asking for I don't think they're asking for some kind of guidance, whether they should throw the milk out, ask him to remove it, or is this somebody you should be with that keeps milk for 5 years?
I'm just curious as to what the advice was. Was it so? This was written to an Agony Aunt in a newspaper. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So what was the Agony Aunt's response? Do you have that?
I don't have the response. No, unfortunately, no. Oh, shit, you're right. Okay. Actually, I mean, I would have been intrigued. I'm sure I can find it.
Get him to drink it. You've got to get him to drink it, and then he'll surely get rid of it.
Well, at this point, 5 years in,
5 years,
there's no liquid.
It's cheese, isn't it now?
It's I would have thought it exploded long before. Yeah. Lots of questions.
They said 2 refrigerators. Did it destroy one of the?
It could, or maybe he's got a special extra refrigerator for them, just specifically for that.
One of those little
cheese milk
bar ones. What are they called? The mini fridges just in the corner.
So what? I don't know why. I mean, that can't be real. Surely that whole segment.
Especially like the brings a new phrase to got milk.
Yeah.
They just wanted to add that in, didn't they?
Yeah, because if you're really suffering with that and you're like, I just need some advice, you're not going to throw in a pun like that, or you're not going to throw that in there. If you're so desperate,
I'm milking it for all it's got.
I thoroughly enjoyed that about the tabloids though. The puns. The puns were wonderful. How dairy. I'm sure that was a consideration.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's probably the title of the page to draw you in. That's great. So I mean, I don't really know what advice she'd be looking for other than probably respect his. It's his decision. He was there. That milk was there long before you, love. And I think,
and it'll be there long after you've gone.
So, you've got to just accept it. Just accept that's just what he does.
Accept the milk.
We've all got hobbies. That's his.
Yeah.
I mean, get your own milk.
Go dairy free.
It's
better for the environment.
Like, join him, encourage him by getting your own milk, and you're like, oh, look at mine. It's been a few weeks now myself, and connect with him on that level.
Mine's only 1 year old. Yours is now 6. Grown up so fast.
Say it is real. Say that's genuine. Why on earth would you write to a newspaper for advice?
I don't know. Yeah, rush out, get some stamps, a letter, some paper, and write to the Sun. It doesn't make sense.
And wait like a few weeks or a few months for them to actually answer.
You've got to buy it every day just to make sure it's in there. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
By the time they answer it, the milk is now 7.
That's true. Who knows how old the milk is now? Could be pushing a decade.
Teenager now.
Food for thought.
Tune in next episode for Dear Deirdre.
So far, we haven't given great advice to any of them, but at some point we'll strike gold.
It's more difficult than you perhaps think.
Yeah,
it is quite hard, isn't it? Yeah, it is quite hard. But I mean, especially when there's not even that. There's nowhere to put advice for that. Is there? You just gotta go. All right.
Keep the milk. Keep the milk if you want to keep the relationship.
Why is it okay for short people to ask tall people to grab things from the highest shelf, but it's not okay for tall people to ask short people to pick shit up for them?
These are groundbreaking questions.
That's a brilliant question. I've asked people to get things.
So Barry and I are on the shorter side, and Joe and Paul, you're quite tall, aren't you? You're both. Joe, are you over 6 foot?
Just about 6. I do pick up shit on a daily basis, though. So
just a hobby of Joe's.
I'm just trying to imagine employing a small person to do it for me.
It's about 6, and Paul, you're over 6 foot, are you?
Yeah, that's 6'1".
What kind of stuff would you get a small? Is it not okay to do that? I don't know.
To pick stuff off of the floor.
I've been asked to do things that people with smaller bodies, like getting stuff that's fallen into behind a radiator or something. Like, oh, you do it because you've got smaller arms, and they're right. They're usually correct. That I can
get in that crevice. Get in there.
I can fish things out. This one guy on the street, I ended up helping him because he couldn't. He was replacing the bulbs in his car, and you had to sort of bend your hand around the engine to get into them. He couldn't do it. His hands were too big. Little old me, my little arms, little hands. I got right in there, unscrewed the bulb. Everyone was laughing.
Are you
we
ever
were all
worried
together.
that you'll get stuck there? So you're crawling in somewhere, and they purposely get you stuck. So it's just your arse hanging out,
right,
stuck there,
right,
and they think dinner time.
Oh my God. I've never considered it until now. Now maybe I'll never help anybody ever again. Yeah.
So we used to know a lad that when we was growing up, he was really skinny.
Right.
And he'd put his hand through the letterbox to open the door. Like he'd put his hand all the way through the letterbox and like pull the handle down.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
That's crazy.
That's quite impressive.
No, he never used to take a key out because he would just put his hand through the letterbox and open the door.
So why is that relevant to this question?
It's not.
I used to be able to get through the dog flap. We had a little dog flap in our back door. I used to be able to get through that, and if I left my key at school or whatever.
Can we fund a new dog flap for your door, and you can only go through that from now on, and send us a video every time you do it? I need to see that.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
In answer to that question, though, I think the key difference is that short people can't reach things that are high up. Tall people can bend down and reach things that are low down. So it's just a matter of capability, isn't it? It's fine to ask a tall person to reach something you cannot reach.
Yeah, I would say like being short is almost like a disability, and you wouldn't, if you would help somebody if they were disabled across the road, or if they needed help with anything. If they were in a wheelchair and they couldn't reach the second shelf in a supermarket, you go, yeah, what do you want?
Is it enough to get the disabled parking space at the supermarket?
For being short?
For being short, yeah.
We have to take more steps, don't you, to get places because you've got a short stride. So yeah, I think I think you're right.
What's your disability? 5'6".
Yeah, I think if you're short, you've got to take more strides. You've got to work harder to get places. Yeah, you should be able to park closer to all things. And I've never considered that, but now I'm going to start a campaign. Yeah,
but you can only enter the supermarket through the dog flap.
For the short people's dog flap.
There was a slight twist in the question in that he said, is it okay for tall people to ask short people to pick up shit? Now,
my dog's just on a poop.
Yes, provided
I've got any bags.
The tall people are also retrieving shit from the high shelves. Otherwise, no.
That was a groundbreaking question.
Hey, subscribe, and you may laugh. Unsubscribe, and you'll live, at least a while. But listening to your podcast in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the episodes from other shows for that one chance, just one chance, on social media to say, we will give you your likes and share your knackers and the breeze on it?
That speech made absolutely no sense.
Alex from the Fractal Fiction podcast here. You can either refer to everyone you ever meet as nothing other than Daddy, or shit yourself every time you say their name.
Oh my god.
That's a classic Knackers in the Breeze question because it involves shit.
That's a shocker.
And a just ludicrous premise. It's classic.
Yeah, philosophical enlightenment.
Here we go.
Right, Joe, you sounded like you were winding up for something.
Well, I'm trying to picture me having quite serious conversations at work and calling everybody daddy is a thought worse than death.
But surely you just wouldn't use people's names, would you? You wouldn't use their names.
I don't know. Like calling people, saying, "Hi, is that my daddy?"
Hi, Daddy. Is Daddy there, please?
No, I can't do it.
999. Hello, Daddy. Please help.
But you wouldn't call them by their name anyway, the operator, would you?
I think if you're going to an important business meeting, you just wear a nappy that day and just you know you're going to shit a lot that day. I think just ride it out. But on the weekends, just then use Daddy. You don't have to wear your nappy.
If you're a bit constipated, just say their name.
Yeah.
Oh, you shit yourself though, don't you?
You shit yourself, yeah.
I think you have to think about the degree of shitting yourself though, because if it's a proper incident, then you just couldn't go with it, could you? Nappy will get you so far, might get you to midday, but
right. Okay.
After that.
Yeah, you're right. You'd have to really... I just don't know the severity of the shits, so it's tough to say.
I feel like we say that sort of every episode.
Yeah, it's not.
What is the severity of the shit when you shit yourself?
I just think as well, if you could style Daddy out, I think, but like just make it sound like it's a cool cat kind of hip thing to say, like "Cheers, Daddy."
Hey, Daddy,
People quite like that. I think they'd enjoy it.
To your boss, though.
To your boss, the little old lady at the supermarket. Here's your change, Daddy.
I think she'd like it. I think the one at the supermarket would like it. But yeah, my boss wouldn't like it. No. Cheers, Daddy. But you'd have to say it like that.
Or even just like a small child.
That could work. I think that could work. Hello, Daddy. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe not.
That's very wrong.
It's weird.
Or perhaps if you learn the word in various other languages and then just kind of mumble it to try and get away with it.
Yeah, El Papa.
So they'll have no idea.
I feel like it has to be daddy. You can. There's no way around it. It's got to be daddy. If you, like, as grown men, if you were to call your dad daddy, how would he react?
He'd hate it.
That'd be really
I'd be slapped in the face.
That would be really, it would be awful, wouldn't it? That'd be horrendous.
I don't think he'd like it. No, yeah, you're right. I still would do it though for the reaction.
Let's all do it, and then we can talk about it next podcast.
Do we also have the trial shitting ourselves?
Right, can you do a live call now from your phone on speakerphone and speak to your dad and just go, hi, Daddy, and just see what he says?
I can't do that.
Come on.
That's cringy. We could do it with you.
Can you do it?
If you call your dad.
No, I haven't got his number, unfortunately.
No, Ryan, can you do that? Are you able to do that?
No.
He's not doing it.
That's a good idea.
It's too cringy.
I think
physically possible.
I think you should do it personally.
He won't. He'll just go. He probably won't even notice it. He'll go, oh, hello, Re. Like, he wouldn't care, I don't think he'd care.
Well, Ryan starts most of his conversations with his dad with Bon Jovi, so I can't imagine this going to be too weird.
Do it. No, he's not doing it.
No.
Hitler continues the bombardment of the south coast of England in the Battle of Britain. Countless men, women and children have been civilian casualties of the Luftwaffe's strategic bombing. Not knowing how to combat the enemy, Prime Minister Churchill sends a coded message to KnackersInTheBreeze to find out what Ryan and Barry would rather. Here in MI5 with the latest technology, Allied intelligence manages to contact KnackersInTheBreeze by sending a voice recording to their Facebook page, and also by sending a DM to their Instagram handle, KnackersInTheBreeze Podcast. Godspeed, Barry and Ryan. The future of Britain depends on you.
I remember listening to your, I can't remember what the podcast was called. You did a little podcast, Barry, when you went cycling.
Oh, yeah.
Washing up paper plates.
Yeah.
That was very
put
good.
It on YouTube.
It sounded like fucking hell, to be honest. You had all your stuff with you on a bike, cycling from country to country.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. No, by no means.
No, just an enormous feat of endurance.
Journey. Yeah, no, it was. It was. You have to go through hell to get to heaven.
You could tell that it wasn't quite like an easygoing thing, because at the end you were like, right, yeah, so I've got to Turkey now. I'm thinking about just throwing my bike in the Black Sea.
Yeah, I did. I left the bike there. Fuck it.
Would you do it again?
Yes, I actually would do it. I said I wouldn't, but now I would, definitely. Yeah. But I would do it very differently now.
Would you do another podcast? Skateboard.
I would.
Heelys.
I'd probably. I mean, people have gone around the world on unicycles, haven't they? And mad things. Yeah. So I don't know why, but definitely, yeah. I'm sure somebody's not on a pogo stick. Or have I made that up? I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
I'm sure somebody's circumnavigated the globe on a pogo stick.
If not, your challenge for next week is to circumnavigate the globe, or at least a continent, on a pogo stick.
I like saying circumnavigate the globe, but I don't really know what circumnavigate. Does that mean you've gone around the world?
Go around the circumference of the world.
Right, okay. Perfect.
Right, yeah, thanks for coming on, Paul, the father of Would You Rather. Really enjoyed it, and that sounded sarcastic.
You always do. really enjoyed it.
No, yeah, I genuinely really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, Joe couldn't be here to say he's not dead. Just not here to say goodbye.
Our thoughts go out to Joe's family.
Yeah. So for future episodes, we need your questions. So send them in. KnackersInTheBreeze@gmail.com or KnackersInTheBreeze podcast on Instagram. You can now go on to KnackersInTheBreeze.com, and on the side there's a bit that says ask us a question. You can send in a voice clip that way, so you don't need to record it and send it email. You can just go to our website. So there's no excuse to not send a question in. So yeah, if you want to contribute, then send us a question.
Love it.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.